Hi, really lovely to meet you all. And yeah, welcome to the world of Supermums, which is amazing. I heard about Supermums through a different alternative route. It was actually on a charity bike ride with a friend that I was doing a London to Paris bike ride for a really charity, two charities close to my heart, really. And I met a group from Salesforce on that bike ride. And I had a few days of cycling with a whole load of people who I didn't know, and actually it meant that I reconsidered my entire career. And thinking actually I was in the world of teaching and education, so in primary school and secondary school, and I felt that that season was over for me. Absolutely loved it, but it wasn't something that I felt fully fulfilled with in terms of where I saw myself in 5 to 10 years time. And I wanted a bit of a life change as I'd become a single parent. I needed more flexibility, and as many of you may or may not think, being a teacher is not a flexible job. But in the sense that you have to be physically present all the time, and at very early starts and late finishes. And I think it wasn't flexible enough for my lifestyle as well. And I loved teaching at the time, but I just thought, anyway, on this bike ride, I reflected on, what were my skills, what could I offer, what could I do. I taught a range of subjects, including maths, computer science, and actually I felt that I could have an interest in those particular subjects in a totally different industry. And in the end, I ended up retraining at Supermums for about for me, I took it fairly. I didn't do it over 5 months. I did it over a slightly longer period, and because it ran over the summer holiday months as well. And being a parent, that can be quite tricky to juggle everything, as well as working on top of that and studying. But I felt that by that point, I sort of knew what direction I wanted to go in terms of obviously doing a system admin course, which was pivotal in securing another job in another industry. But it was not only that, it gives you exposure to different types of courses, as well as, I'm sure you're all aware, and I'm probably not up to date now, but all the sort of AI stuff that's going on, and that's the industry that I'm in now. So and so yeah, so that was a different journey. I'm sure you will have different stories as to how you heard about Supermums, but that was mine. And yeah, and then as part of that, I interviewed even at Salesforce, and but that relocation would have been Dublin, and that was not something that I wanted to consider. As wonderful as it is, I have family around in just outside London, so yeah, but then and then GWI, which is where I work now, came across my pathway, and I applied, and here I am today. So and GWI is a global research AI data company, looking over 54 markets, consumer research, real-time online data, and it's the largest harmonized data platform. So it's a really interesting place to work with loads of different industries within that. So also education sector, health sector, sports sector, other tech companies and giants to very small agencies. So it's a really interesting place to work. And I use Salesforce on a daily basis. So in terms of I work in the CS team, so customer success, and it entails responsibilities of renewals and also support on the actual platform, which is also built by the Salesforce. So it's really, really key in terms of having that foundational knowledge, and yeah, in terms of working in a different environment, but also using it in a different way.
I love that. I love your story, Rebecca, and it's always nice to see you in person. We occasionally meet up at an event, don't we?
You do.
From your side, what would you say was the main thing that brought you to Supermums in the first place? Would you say it's community?
Yeah.
Would you say it's the support? What would you say?
Do you know what? I felt that it was very structured, and I felt that the main reason was actually in the people, really. I mean, like, I felt very welcomed. I felt like, you know, this isn't a strange place. I felt I could relate to lots of other people and similar situations potentially, and family dynamics, and you know, and everyone could kind of understand one another. And actually, it was really lovely. It was, the great thing was that you meet so many people from so many different walks of life and from different journeys that they've been on, and then we sort of ended up here at the same time. And it's a lovely community feel, and also really great, very extremely supportive, and extremely flexible as well in terms of if things happen or change. I felt very well supported, and also it meant that it opened up doors and places that I didn't expect or think I could even access. So it meant that actually, so what I, if I could give you any advice, it would be to turn up to the events, the networking things. You'll meet all sorts of different people, and they'll be very interested in you. And actually, a lot of people like transferable skills, and they like they embrace the background that you came from and use that for your new kind of pathway and as to where you're going to go. So
great piece of advice. I think personal brand is so important, isn't it? So but Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. I know how busy you are,